My name is Alex Carter. For the last 5 years, I had traveled across America, documenting strange places, abandoned towns, and local legends for my YouTube channel, The Haunted Territory. Most of the stories were fake. Some were exaggerated. And a few were things I still couldn't explain. But none of them came close to what happened on Route 66. Even now, as I sit here recording this story, my hands shake every time I think about it. Because I know something is still out there. Something waiting. And I have a feeling that after you hear my story, you might start seeing it too. It all started in the summer of 2026. I was driving through northern Arizona, following the remains of the old Route 66 highway. The sun was beginning to set, painting the desert sky in deep shades of orange and red. My destination was a tiny abandoned town called Black Hollow. According to local rumors, strange lights appeared there every few months. People claimed they saw ghostly figures walking through empty streets at night. As usual, I didn't believe any of it. Ghost stories attract views. That's all I cared about. At least back then. Around 7 in the evening, I stopped at a roadside diner about 20 miles outside Black Hollow. The place looked like it hadn't changed since the 1970s. A faded neon sign flickered above the entrance. Only 3 cars sat in the parking lot. Inside, an old country song played softly through dusty speakers. I grabbed a booth near the window and ordered coffee. The waitress was an elderly woman, probably in her 70s. She seemed friendly enough. At first, while waiting for my food, I mentioned Black Hollow. The reaction was immediate. The smile disappeared from her face. Her hand froze around the coffee pot. For several seconds, she didn't say anything. Then, she leaned closer, very slowly. "You're not planning on staying there after midnight, are you?" I laughed. "Why? Ghosts come out after midnight?" She didn't laugh back. Her eyes remained fixed on mine. "I'm serious." Something about her tone made me uncomfortable. I shrugged. "I'm just filming a documentary." The woman looked toward the window, as if making sure nobody else was listening. Then she whispered,
"Don't wait for the Route 66 bus.
If you see the Route 66
It ain't
bus,
just late, it's something else
don't
entirely.
get on it."
Please,
I
you need to
stared
leave.
at her. "The what?" "The bus." She swallowed hard. The old Route 66 bus. I couldn't help smiling. "A haunted bus?" She nodded. But there was no amusement in her face. Only fear. Real fear. The kind that can't be faked. "Ma'am, Route 66 doesn't even have buses anymore." "I know. Then what exactly am I supposed to be looking for?"
You shouldn't be here.
She hesitated,
You need to leave.
then quietly said, "A bus that shouldn't exist." Before I could ask another question, a man sitting at the counter suddenly stood up. He looked about 60 years old. Weathered face, gray beard, truck driver's cap. And from the expression on his face, he had been listening the entire time. "You talking about the midnight bus?" The waitress nodded. The man's face immediately turned pale. He walked over to my table and sat down without asking. "Listen, kid, I'm gonna tell you something, and you're gonna think I'm crazy." I had heard that sentence hundreds of times before. Usually, it led nowhere. Still, I pulled out my camera. The man instantly shook his head. "No cameras." I lowered it. That should have been my first warning.
The man took a deep breath. 30 years ago, there was a bus crash. Late at night, just outside Black Hollow. Every passenger died. I frowned. "That's tragic." But he interrupted me. "They never found the bodies." I blinked. "What?" "The bus went off the road during a sandstorm. Search teams found wreckage, but no passengers. No driver. Nothing." He paused. Like they simply disappeared.
The diner suddenly felt colder. I told myself it was just the air conditioning, nothing more. But for some reason, the story was starting to get under my skin. "What happened after that?" I asked. The truck driver looked toward the door, almost nervously. Then he answered. "People started seeing the bus. At first, only once every few years. Then every few months. And now," he swallowed. "Now it shows up almost every week." I laughed nervously. "So people see a ghost bus driving around the desert?" He leaned forward. "No, they see it stopping." My smile disappeared. "Stopping where?" He pointed directly at me. "Wherever someone is alone." A strange silence filled the diner. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Even the waitress looked uncomfortable. Then the truck driver said something I still remember word for word. Something that would haunt me later. "The bus always has one empty seat. And if you get on, that seat disappears forever." A chill ran down my spine. I told myself these people were messing with me. Maybe it was some local legend, something tourists fell for. That explanation made sense. At least it did back then. I finished my coffee, paid the bill, and headed back toward my truck. The old waitress followed me outside. The desert wind had become strangely cold.
Don't look inside.
As I opened the driver's door, she grabbed my arm.
Promise me something.
Her hand was
You see
trembling.
the bus.
"Promise me something." I looked at her. "What?" "If you see that bus, don't look inside." For the first time that evening, I felt genuine fear. Not because of the story, but because she truly believed it. I drove away around 8:30. The sun had disappeared completely. Darkness stretched endlessly across the Arizona desert. My headlights illuminated miles of empty road. Nothing else. No cars, no towns, no people. Just darkness. By 10:30, I reached Black Hollow. The town looked exactly like every abandoned desert town you've ever seen. Broken buildings, boarded windows, rusting gas stations, dust covering everything. It felt dead. Completely dead.
I parked near the old town square and began filming.
For the next hour, everything seemed normal. The wind howled through empty streets. Loose signs creaked in the darkness. Nothing unusual happened. And honestly, I was starting to think the diner story had been nonsense. Then midnight arrived, and everything changed. The temperature dropped suddenly. Not gradually, instantly. Like someone had opened a freezer door. I could see my breath. In the middle of an Arizona summer, the wind stopped. Completely. The entire town became silent. Too silent. And then, far away in the darkness, I heard something. A sound. Faint at first. Barely audible. An engine. An old engine. Slowly approaching. From somewhere beyond the desert. I turned toward the sound. My camera still recording. The noise grew louder. Closer. 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 And then I saw headlights. Two pale lights emerging from the darkness, moving toward Black Hollow. Toward me. At first, I thought it was another traveler. Maybe a truck. Maybe a tourist. But as it got closer, I realized something was wrong. Very wrong. The vehicle looked ancient. Its paint was faded. Its windows were clouded with dirt. And across the front, illuminated by flickering yellow lights, were two words that made my blood run cold. Route 66. The bus had arrived, and it was stopping directly in front of me.